Hi, this is Teresa Martin from CapeCodNews.org. I'm here at a Cape Cod beach. The sky is blue, the air is warm, the water is delightful, clean, and inviting. But there's a catch. Across the Cape, and indeed across the country, lifeguards are in short supply.
We know that there's a national shortage of lifeguards, and here on Cape Cod, we know that during the summertime, everyone's going to flock to open water.
That's Christian Sears, longtime lifeguard and head manager of the West Beach Club in Hyannisport. He also runs Fit to Guard, which trains lifeguards for the intense physical portion of the job required to pass lifeguard certification.
When you have a lot of people going to a beach area that is unguarded, that's obviously going to lead to potential hazardous and dangerous situations. And we want to be able to try to prevent those. We want to be able to steer people into areas where there's going to be a lifeguard on duty.
But that recommendation might be easier said than done, especially this year.
So I think one of the challenges that I've seen is those younger college age or the younger high school age, not even quite sure what lifeguarding even looks like. There's so many different avenues for them to explore, but right now they don't even know where to start.
You know, when you're talking about shortages, I think that might be one of the problems that people don't understand, that if you want to get into the lifeguard position, it takes a little bit of training to do so.
That's Tom Miskiv, lifeguard supervisor at Nauset Beach in Orleans, a rugged 9-mile stretch that includes a popular public beach, as well as 2 segments of off-road beach access, not to mention a concentration of seals and great white sharks. He says the idea that lifeguarding is just a summer filler is flat out wrong.
If you're interested in a public service job afterwards, we've had plenty of people that have come here that are now firefighters, ER nurses, and so forth like that. And it's a great way to get that started.
Take Nauset Beach assistant head lifeguard Katie Dorsey, for example.
The biggest issue I think now is that, and it's not necessarily an issue, it's people are more, like I'm 28, so I kind of went through this when I was in college. You're encouraged to get internships. You know, you want to get that job, and that's what colleges are encouraging, as they should, but people aren't coming out to lifeguard because they think that, you know, they have to do this internship.
So our guards here are learning more than just the skills needed to be in charge of the little kids, the raft, and the adults. But it's going to give them an opportunity to then be in charge of everyone on the beach when they're in that chair.
I know younger people can work in a restaurant and make much more than they can here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But in saying that, I think that if you're a young person that wants to get in, if you're a college or high school athlete, I don't think there's a better place you can work.
Language of lifeguarding needs to change to bring back the heroism. And what I mean by that is you've done so much training, you've passed so many vigorous tests that we want to be able to have you prepared for those emergencies when they happen.
The job itself is not sitting there in a stand just getting a tan looking at people. You know, we do a 40-hour surf rescue school to start the year with everybody, and we train throughout the entire year on water rescues and emergency medical rescues here on the beach. Anything from sand collapses to heat emergencies to shark attacks and what we would do then, working closely with the fire department as well.
With beaches driving tourism, addressing the lifeguard shortage becomes economically critical, and that includes finding workarounds for the earlier start to college, the later run of the school year, and of course the perpetual shortage of Cape Cod housing.
The issue is the housing, which is really across the whole Cape in every regard, and a lot of beaches don't offer housing. We do.
We're fortunate here in town that we are running a little short, but the way we've overcome it is that we have part-time lifeguards. Most of them have been veteran lifeguards from here before that have gone into other public service jobs. Kate is a full-time firefighter in Truro, EMT, that comes back to work here anywhere from 3 to 4 days a week. We also have Kate?
We have 2 other firefighters that work on the Outer Cape and work here 3 days a week, 2 ER nurses that work locally that, again, 2 to 3 days a week, or before, they'll even come in before their night shift if they can, if we're that short, and then go work at the hospital that night. And we have about 4 or 5 other EMTs. We
like to have 12 lifeguards on duty at this beach. With the shortage, and if we don't have our part-timers come in, we can go down to 10. We don't want to get any lower than 10. That way we have 2 lifeguards in every chair that's on this beach here.
Guards form the first line of safety defense where water meets land. The World Health Organization estimates about 300,000 people die every year from preventable drownings.
On July 25th, we actually have World Drowning Prevention Day. Anybody can drown, no one should. And unfortunately, we see a lot of drownings occur When you have a lot of kids being around pools that aren't fenced in, or that have a lot of adults that may be around but are distracted or are thinking that somebody else is always watching. Because we live near such colder water than some are used to, that initial takeaway of the air, the stiffening of the muscles, the second you go into that water, if you're not used to it, then you begin fighting that water, that intense hyperventilation, if you will, that intense hypoxic holding of the breath does increase that panic. And then, of course, if all they're trying to do is keep their head above water, their hips are sinking, and it's very easy for them to, unfortunately, not keep themselves afloat.
We've treated everything here from heat emergencies to cardiac arrest to
Full paralysis.
full paralysis from people getting jammed up in the surf on the shore.
We've had multiple calls here that have resulted in med flight coming in to, or where we transferred to the Orleans Fire Department, they flew the person to Boston. Like, people don't realize the energy in the water here. You know, you have like the stereotypical vision of what a rip current looks like, but we have flash rips here. So, and especially this summer, that's been an issue. We have a rip current, let's say in front of this lifeguard chair right here, but then all of a sudden it's moved down the beach and it's swinging back and forth between two chairs, and people are fine one second and then they're sucked out the next.
A couple of weeks ago, I think in one day we had 3 caught in a rip current. They're just smaller children on boogie boards that were being pulled out.
What do we do about making our beaches safer with lifeguards? What would you tell them?
I would say swim near a lifeguard. I would say learn to swim, but know your limitations. If it looks rough and it is unsafe in your mind to be able to go in, just wait. It's going to be there the next day.
So guarded beaches, as far as that goes, I think that's the key right there. Go somewhere else that doesn't have guards and people aren't sure what to do, and that's when accidents can happen.
Every lifeguard we spoke to, on and off camera, voiced one universal sentiment. They couldn't imagine doing anything else.
There is no better job. And I don't just mean that because I get a chance to work on the beach every single day, but every agency that I've been a part of has some of the strongest relationships, has provided so much leadership opportunity. You get to be collaborative, you get to be able to stay in shape and to get paid to work out sometimes. It's truly a job unlike any other.
This is the best job in the world. I started working here when I was 17, back in 2015. And like I said, I'm the 10th person in my family to work at this beach since 79. I always knew I was going to be a lifeguard since I was 10 years old. But I went to college, did college sports. I went into business. COVID happened, changed my life plan. And Tom here encouraged me to become a firefighter. And his pitch was, you can lifeguard the rest of your life. And I said, well, that's exactly what I want to do.
It's a great job. And
Come lifeguard.
Come lifeguard.
You're never going to regret it.
No, you won't.
You might change your life around for it.
Yep.